What's dangerous is when the universe pick you and you put on the magic glasses. There's rules that go with them. You can never take them off. You never see things as they're supposed to be. You see things as they are. And you can never force nobody else to wear them.
I think while I lie awake and contemplate tonight are wearing me out. Well, maybe tomorrow the world will wake and get it right, but I have my doubts, yeah. During the day, well, I design machines of war that scream through the sky. 'Cause I for one, I like to go to bed free at night under these stars and stripes. And I have my doubts that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we're making back out. Yes, I have my doubts, but they'll wind you up and pull the cord until you're spun right out. And I don't understand. Roll the dice and raise the price to feed the machine's mouth. Call it the progress of man. And I have my doubt that we're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts. And I have my doubts that we'll make it back out. I have my doubts, so I'll drink my stuff and raise some hell and shoot my guns to the end of my time. You can have the booze and go to hell and take the guns, but I know they won't be mine. We're coming out. Yes, I have my doubts, and I have my doubts that we'll make it back up. Yes, I have my doubts. So we're all messed up and out of touch. Let's text someone who's in the other room. So don't wonder why we don't say hi or know anyone. I might as well move to the moon. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. So maybe I'm wrong. Well, I hope that I'm wrong. Well, the things I think while I lie awake and contemplate at night are wearing me out.
Good evening. So I worked on audio a little bit again. I listened to the playback last night and was not impressed. And so I swapped out the mic. I don't know if it's any better. I fiddled with settings again, so we'll see. So I'll hear it either after the show or tomorrow morning or sometime. Anywho, man, just worn out. I'll tell you what, this news stuff, it just drags on and on and on. And that's why I'm saying I think that this is the way it's going to be. I think it's just going to be a slow grind, into the ground. I don't think that we're going to have something super major, at least not right away. That's just going to completely change the face of our existence. I don't see that necessarily happening real soon, but I definitely see a slow grind. All we can do is watch it. I got a number of tabs open tonight. Did a fair amount of flying today, so I paid attention to news, but I didn't dive as much as I usually do. I found a highway. I don't remember. Maybe it was 15. I'm not sure. But anyway, it was a highway that ran through the mountains, Southern California, from like Bakersfield to I think it was Santa Clara or something like that, and a little highway system that goes through the mountains. And so I traveled that a little over an hour flight, and I started out in a chopper doing it first, and I almost made it all the way, and then I screwed something up and didn't make it, and then so I went back in a Cub, and flew it in a Cub, so that was fun. But anyway, that took me, like I said, it's over an hour, and that's in a Cub. The chopper took me a little longer, plus I was in a chopper. I was, flying around, checking stuff out. So, I don't know, I probably blew about 3.5 hours just on my California flight today, so. But I'm enjoying the heli. I'm enjoying the hell out of the heli. I figured out the trick, and that's make sure you assign trim buttons, and then you're set. As long as you can trim it easy, no sweat. Anywho, I guess we could get started on this nonsense. What I got here? Looks like 9 tabs open. Of course, the title of the show tonight, Pentagon loses 1 million F-35 parts. I mean, isn't that amazing? Isn't that just amazing? It says here, U.S. Department of Defense has been unable to account for about 1 million missing spare parts for its F-35 Lightning II fighter jet. The costliest weapon system in the nation's history, a government review has found. The lost parts, which include such items as bolts, tires, and landing gear, are valued at about $85 million. The Government Accountability Office reported on Tuesday. Since 2018, the Pentagon has reviewed the circumstances surrounding only 2% of identified parts losses. Without DoD taking steps to ensure that these spare parts are accountable under a contract, the F-35 Joint Program Office will be unable to either gain or maintain accountability over these spare parts and will not have data such as locations, cost, and quantities needed for financial reporting or to ensure that government interests are protected, the GAO said. Well, that's nice. That's splendid. So we've got, the Obama administration and his corporation that was funneling machine guns and stuff like that into Mexico. And you got somebody funneling F-35 parts to whoever the hell the highest bidder is. I don't know. I don't know how you would cover something up like that. You would almost, I don't know, maybe you'd have to have something like energy contracts or something to cover up stuff like that. Maybe. But nah, there wouldn't ever be anybody in office in this country that would ever be involved in, I don't know, Chinese energy companies and stuff. Nah. Silly talk. But that's okay. F-35s, that's not the topic of the day anyway. F-16s, now that is the topic of today. So you remember this back and forth that, I'd been talking about for the last 2 nights about Germany coming out and saying, well, I think we got some F-16s, and the United States is like, we got training for them F-16s, and then Germany's like, no, we don't have F-16s. And then the United States was, oh, you got F-16s. And now Burrell is saying that, the F-16 training program is underway. That shit's quick, yo. I mean, damn. You want to talk about making a phone call and making shit happen. Wow, it's almost as if they've been doing it for a while now and they just decided to let us know. But they wouldn't have done that because, of course, it's the government and they don't lie to us. Because, that would be illegal and stuff. They wouldn't do that. Western countries have already started to train Ukrainian pilots in Europe to fly U.S.-designed F-16 fighter jets. EU Foreign Policy Chief Joseph Borrell confirmed on Tuesday. Speaking prior to the EU Foreign Affairs Council meeting, the diplomat said that he was happy that finally the training of pilots of F-16 has started in several countries, mentioning Poland in particular. However, he would not say how many Ukrainians are being taught how to fly the aircraft or which other countries are currently laying the groundwork for such efforts. He went on to concede that the training will take time, adding that this step would open the door for the jets to eventually be provided to Ukraine. Burrell also compared the deliberations about sending Western-made modern jets to Kiev with a push to provide Ukraine with Leopard-main battle tanks, saying that in the beginning everybody is reluctant, but then the decision comes to provide this military support because it is absolutely needed for Ukraine to continue defending. Okay, well, this isn't how you do it, man. You don't just, slowly drain down weapons and equipment. That's kind of stupid. You kind of build things up and then you kick ass. You don't just, don't bomb us this week, we're building some more shit. Right? It doesn't work like that. Doesn't work like that. Sears continues to say, however, on Sunday, German Chancellor Olaf Scholz dampened expectations about Kiev receiving the jets in the near future, noting that the pilot training program is a long-term project and that U.S. still has not decided what to do after it is completed. I'm pretty sure they already said you're giving them F-16s. So, UK Prime Minister Rishi Sunak welcomed Washington's stance on the matter, as long as you're not frickin' giving them, announcing that Britain will work together with the U.S., the Netherlands, Belgium, and Denmark to get Ukraine the combat air capability it needs. Where can we fill out applications for the combat air capability that we need. Because I got a ballpoint pen right here, and I've got an email address. Kind of screwed on the whole fax thing, but anything aside from a fax, and I'll fill out that little application and we'll get this started. I need some combat air capability, sir. Drone bombs Belgrade Street, says governor. I gotta have a drink of coffee. It's good coffee. I hear, and it's in the headlines, that coffee is going to go up. That make you happy? Reminds me of the movie Airplane, right? Where we've been putting up with all this craziness and everybody's, been maintaining. For the most part, people been maintaining. And then they tell us that they're out of coffee and the whole nation loses their shit. I better not joke too much. That one might come back to bite me in the ass. Anyway. Yeah, I don't get this. Some of the tactics that Ukraine is using should really be condemned by, everybody. This is insane. We're seeing this in our nation. The gentleman on the subway that defended himself and others. Was his last name Penny? Daniel Penny, I believe. I can't remember his name. I think one's Penny, one's Perry, something like that. I don't remember for sure which is which. However, we've got the injustice going on with that. We've got injustice going on internationally. And it's serious injustice. It's no doubt absolute corruption. It's insanity. Every day it's like United States is becoming more and more like Sodom. Anyway, it says a civilian vehicle was damaged in yet another suspected Ukrainian drone attack on the Russian city of Belgrade on Tuesday evening, according to the governor of the border region, which suffered a deadly militant raid the day before. In Belgrade, an explosive device was dropped from a UAV onto the roadway. Bomb experts and emergency services are working at the scene. Gladkov wrote on Telegram shortly after midnight. There were no casualties in the attack, according to the preliminary information, but at least one civilian car was damaged in the explosion, the official added. Sharing a photo of the aftermath, other footage posted by several Telegram news channels also showed what appeared to be debris of an improvised explosive device. Some 30 minutes later, Gladkov wrote that the air defenses engaged and shot down a drone above the city. It was unclear if he was talking about the same device that dropped the bomb, but earlier on Tuesday he announced that several more drones had been intercepted in the area. The incident follows a deadly cross-border raid by Ukrainian militants, which had forced the governor to briefly impose anti-terrorism operation regulations in the region. A group of the Ukrainian raiders crossed the border into the Graveron district west of Belgrade City on Monday, killing at least one villager and injuring several others in their attack. The Russian military described them as sabotage reconnaissance group and estimated their strength at around 50 to 200 men. That's kind of a little difference there, using U.S.-made armored cars. And then we have this. U.S. struggles to explain images of its destroyed hardware inside Russia. President Joe Biden's administration has suggested that the contrary to the footage shared by the Russian military and many other images posted on social media showing U.S.-made military vehicles destroyed in the Belgrade region, the equipment used by Ukrainian militants in their latest attack on Russian soil wasn't likely supplied by Washington or its Western allies. We've seen some of the reports circulating on social media and elsewhere making claims that U.S.-supplied weapons were used in these attacks. U.S. State Department spokesman Matthew Miller told reporters on Tuesday in Washington, "I will say that we're skeptical at this time of the veracity of these reports." Miller suggested that footage of the destroyed vehicles might be fake. We've seen a lot of reports on social media and fuzzy pictures on social media and a lot of kind of armchair intelligence analysts making claims, he said. We're skeptical that they're accurate. The images appear to clearly show the disabled U.S.-made equipment, including Humvees and at least one Max Pro MRAP armored fighting vehicle. Nevertheless, when questioned on why U.S. officials haven't made a definitive assessment, Miller stood by his claim. We don't have perfect clarity on the information, he told reporters. We're looking at the same pictures you see, the same fuzzy images, and at this time we are skeptical of their veracity. Monday's attack by a Ukrainian saboteur group targeted the Belgrade district of Graveron, where at least one resident was killed and several others injured. Russian Defense Ministry on Tuesday published aerial footage purporting to show its destruction of the Ukrainian militant group, which left U.S.-made armor on fire. So, but don't think that this is Ukraine trying to fight, because it's not. How would I know this? I mean, I know it would make sense that they would be trying to fight if you see them, reaching out and poking somebody like they've been doing, right? But no, I've got indications that that is not the case. Because they tell us the counteroffensive will begin very soon. And so it hasn't started yet. Just want to make sure everybody's clear on that. Ukraine has the weapons it needs to start its much anticipated counteroffensive, but actually defeating Russia will require more. The head of the Ukraine main intelligence directorate, Kirill Budanov, said in an interview on Tuesday. We already have the necessary minimum of weapons for the attack, Budanov told the Japanese state broadcaster NHK. I can only say that it will begin soon. To successfully pursue a long campaign against Russia, however, Ukraine needs even more, according to Budanov. We need a large stockpile of weapons and ammunition to successfully continue the operation, he said. Dang it. Hang on. Let me try to get this volume turned down on my... Hang on. Sorry about that. I didn't think I was going to get nailed like that. Hell, I don't even remember I was. Oh, there we go. Let's see. Kiev's top spy added that he would pay close attention to the progress of military aid from the West after the G7 summit in Hiroshima, where President Vladimir Zelensky made an appearance as a surprise guest. Over the weekend, Zelensky acknowledged the loss of the Donbass fortress of Bakhmut, known by Russians as, well, I can't say that name. Kiev responded by launching a raid into Russia's Belgrade region, which garnered a lot of social media attention, but achieved nothing of military importance. So, we'll see. We'll see. I know, we've all heard about this. And saying this cat was actually from not too far from us. So that's kind of crazy. I think it's awfully coincidental. I do. Because it just so happens that recently Missouri has put in a bunch of different laws and stuff like that. I'll tell you what. Something doesn't seem right with this stuff. Not even close to right with this stuff. I hate to think what it is that they're trying to put in place. It says the driver of a U-Haul van that crashed into a security barrier close to the White House on Monday night has been arrested on a litany of charges, including one of threatening to kill the U.S. President Joe Biden, authorities in Washington, D.C. say. According to a U.S. Park Police statement provided to NBC News, the driver of the vehicle has been charged with threatening to kill, kidnap, or inflict harm on the president, vice president, and their family members. Cell phone footage of the incident has been circulating on social media since the crash, which occurred at around 10 p.m. local time and had triggered the evacuation of the nearby Hay Adams Hotel. Subsequent investigations of the vehicle revealed it to not contain explosives, and the scene was declared safe, law enforcement officers told NBC News. The unidentified man, who is reportedly a U.S. citizen that was not on any police watch lists, also faces charges of destruction of federal property, trespassing, assault with a dangerous weapon, and recklessly operating a motor vehicle, the police said. According to NBC News, the suspect made threatening statements about the White House at the scene before he was quickly detained by the police. Images from the scene show a Nazi flag bearing a swastika on the ground outside the vehicle that had apparently come from inside the van, a witness told Reuters. And I'm just buying all of that lock, stock, and barrel. I'm telling you, I'm buying that all. I'm believing every second of it. Because we all know that government wouldn't plant anything. I mean, because we can trust them through and through. Aren't you happy to have a government that you can trust like that? All we got to do is just keep voting and we can keep that exact same government. That would be swell. All we got to do is just keep voting. It's crazy. Got another one of these. Oh, I hate when it has the app thingy. There we go. Fixed. Another one of these articles. Catholic clergy sexually abused Illinois kids far more often than church acknowledged state fines. Yeah, I saw the picture too. I know that I know that they said that he wasn't, and I know right here KMOV. Hang on, new tab. Right here, yeah. Because I even shared this out on Facebook earlier, and I knew that they had. Here he is, Sai Kandula, something like that, 19 years old. Yep, I saw that. There he is, right there. So I don't know. I'm not buying it. There's something that seems a bit off. I don't know. I don't know what it is, but there's something that just seems a bit off. Might have something to do with a false flag. A false flag. So FBI defy subpoena on Biden corruption case. There's that government we trust. The FBI has again refused to turn over documents subpoenaed by Congress regarding allegations of a bribery scheme allegedly perpetrated by then Vice President Joe Biden, escalating a row with House Republicans over the agency's handling of a case. The latest refusal to comply with the subpoena came during an FBI briefing of the U.S. House Oversight Committee on Monday. At issue is a so-called FD 1023 form, which details accusations that President Biden accepted foreign bribes in exchange for policy favors when he was vice president under President Barack Obama. I don't know why I'm stumbling on reading. FBI officials previously missed a May 10 deadline to provide the requested materials to Congress. At the time, the agency claimed that the allegations against Biden were unverified and that the FD 1023 must be kept private to protect FBI informants. Ironically, a 4-year probe by U.S. Special Counsel John Durham found that the FBI improperly launched an investigation of Donald Trump's 2016 presidential election campaign based on unverified allegations funneled to the agency by rival candidate Hillary Clinton. This allegation happened a long time ago, and the FBI has done nothing, House Oversight Committee Chairman James Comer said on Monday in a Fox News interview. We want to know exactly what they did. We not only want the file, we want to know what action they took. Comer said Republican members of the committee are so concerned about the case because of the allegations fit a pattern of then Vice President Biden flying to such countries as Romania, taking an unusually active role on U.S. foreign policy decisions, then receiving wire transfers from those nations into bank accounts linked to his family. This is one of the most serious accusations I think has ever been leveled against any political leader in the history of our country, Comer said. And for the FBI to act like, well, we don't know, we can't talk to you about this, just trust us. It's not normal for the President of the United States' children and grandchildren and in-laws and nieces and nephews to receive wires from foreign nationals. Imagine that. You know how much money they have to be transferring to need to do that? Holy cow. Because it's not like the limit you have. Oh, no. But I just don't think anything will be done about it. I don't. And this is damn, I flew through those. This is my last tab I have open, so it's going to be a quick night. Hell, I'm ahead today. I think before 10:30, I think it was, I had the grass cut, had trash out. I've been itching to cut the grass, though, so I like cutting the grass. Call me weird. Anyway, homeless families ousted from UK hotel for Beyonce tour, says media. Well, that's nice of her. As many as 30 homeless families, currently living in a Travelodge hotel in a London suburb will be removed at the end of the month to make way for paying customers in town for pop star Beyonce's Renaissance World Tour, The Guardian reported on Tuesday. Currently occupying 100 rooms, 2/3 of the hotel space, with as many as 5 people to a room, the families whose bookings end during the Beyonce tour's 5-day run at nearby Tottenham Hotspur Stadium will be moved to alternative temporary accommodation, as the council did not extend their stay, according to the outlet. Families claim the moving process was incredibly disruptive and complain the council often waits until the last day of a booking before making another. Travelodge allows a maximum of 28 days to be booked at once. However, Travelodge stressed that it was not their decision to remove the families, but the council's. A spokesperson told The Guardian the chain currently had ample availability at its infield location and nearby hotels for the dates of the Beyonce concerts, adding that the council are welcome to book the rooms again. A spokesperson for Infield Council told The Guardian that it understood hotel accommodation is not ideal for families and claimed to be lobbying for national action to address the fundamental shortfall of affordable housing. Now, hold up. Let me explain what they mean by addressing the fundamental shortfall of affordable housing, because it may sound to you like it means they're going to do something to help people, right? We're going to fix the shortfall of affordable housing. Not so quick. No, they're just going to make it so you don't see those people no more. That's how they fix homelessness, by making the people disappear. It's amazing. It's really, truly the cheapest way to deal with it. It's amazing. The council was reportedly concerned the Beyonce tour would negatively impact families, saying that the Travelodge, though families who spoke to The Guardian seemed more worried about the council's failure to renew their bookings in a timely fashion. One family was allegedly left without shelter and the reservation ended last week, while a mother with 3 children was reportedly left in limbo for 12 hours, stuck outside the hotel with all their belongings until the council sent the family to another Travelodge. So, and I'm going to say right up front, I am not quick to judge people. Because some of these people that are homeless today, just to give you an idea, are people that refused to undergo a medical procedure that they didn't agree with and they weren't comfortable with. And they lost their jobs as a result of refusing. You know, there were other people that were cheering those people on. Remember those people? I remember those people. I was one of those people. But I didn't forget. I cheered them on. I didn't forget the sacrifice that I knew they were taking in standing up. Plain and simple. Right? And if there's one thing I can say good about Angry Prepper, it's that he stood up. He stood his ground. Right the hell on. He also has sacrificed as a result. He just won. Luckily, he was set up well enough that he didn't go under. As a result, not everybody was in that situation. And there are a lot of people that are hurting because they refused. Now, I'm not so quick to judge because somebody's homeless, because I don't know how they got there. And not everybody in homeless is just somebody that's an addict that can't. It doesn't start that way. Usually you become homeless first and then you become the addict. Oh, man. I hear you. Do you know why? Is it because they actually, like, take care of their people, or do they take their people out? I mean, you know what I mean, for dinner and lunch and a little dirt nap. Because, I mean, there are governments that do that. In fact, there's talk right now about Canada euthanizing the homeless. That's one hell of a way of dealing with homelessness, isn't it? We are, without a doubt, Babylon. Hell, we're Babylon, we're Sodom, we're Gomorrah, we're all those wrapped up into one. Crazy, crazy stuff. See, it doesn't matter, right? It doesn't matter that we aren't involved. We know about this stuff going on, and that's what matters. That's what matters. Oh, man. I even went up in the DC-6. Man, is that one badass aircraft or what? I love the DC-6. 1 second. I went up in a Hellcat and blew up the engine in the Hellcat and crashed trying to do an emergency landing with said Hellcat. Yeah, it wasn't pretty. I mean, right in the top of a mountain, man. I just, if I had another 100 feet, I'd have been swell. But I wasn't so swell. I was pretty damn flat, though. Anywho, I've got these headlines. They're things I put out throughout the day. Anyway, that's not the important part. I'm gonna read them. It is about that time. Yeah, I feel it. It is about that time to watch the movie Airplane once again. It's just one of those movies you just have to watch periodically because, well, it doesn't matter right now. Chinese citizens sue Florida. That's what matters right now. They're suing Florida. They're being oppressed or something. I don't know. I have no idea what they're doing. Oh, they removed them quickly. So, I mean, but it's probably not a happy removal kind of thing. It's like, get the fuck out of here. Go sleep in a ditch where nobody sees you kind of thing. Let's see. Yeah, you already know about the truck with the Nazi flag. Yeah. White House. Well, you already know about this. I don't know why this is hitting the news again. I believe it's the same $3 billion that we talked about a couple of days ago. Environmentalists blast Norway over Arctic oil plan. Coffee prices skyrocket. Oh! Let's see. Gazprom's Austrian property to be auctioned, says media. Beijing decries G7's biggest threat label. UN helping Russian bank with SWIFT bypass, says an official. I'm kind of curious if that's accurate. I mean, it could be, that could be propaganda. Kremlin expresses deep concern over Belgrade attack. German and Hungarian FMs clash over Ukraine, says Politico. Ukrainian F-16 training program underway, says... Oh, I've talked about that. Ukraine resorting to terrorism after Bakhmut defeat. Again, I can't say that name, so I say Bakhmut. Bakhmut, not Bakhmut. That's something totally different we don't want to know about. Let's see. Oh, Singapore's the one that does the caning. Yeah, caning. When I was a young man, we didn't have prophylactics. We had rabbit skins and bungee cord. No, anyway, when I was a young man, there was something that happened, and I can't remember. I believe somebody was caught with drugs or something like that. And I say young man, but I was 19, 20, something like that. And a hell of a lot younger than today, I'll tell you that. And anyway, there was somebody, I think it involved drugs or something, but they got caned, right? That was their punishment. They got caned. And so KC95, the local hell-raising radio station, they decided to have a caning. Anyway, we wound up actually going to it and watching it and stuff. It was a blast. It wasn't far from where we lived. Carlisle, Illinois. They went to a little barbecue joint and where they had the event at, and it was pretty cool. It was pretty cool. Anyway, we had a ball. Absolute ball. But I didn't know where it was that did the caning. I couldn't remember that. Let's see. Russian PM outlines extent of growing trade ties with China. Already talked about that. Russia has lowest inflation in Europe, says Prime Minister. Russian narratives gaining traction in Germany, says domestic intel chief. Well, you better FBI them. Gas supplies to EU via Ukraine growing, says Gazprom. U.S. must make security deal with Russia, says Hungary. Van driver arrested for threats to kill Biden, says media. France bans short-haul flights. Oh, I talked about that one. Property boom taking hold in former Olympic host city, Sochi. Would be a pretty place to live. U.S. threatens NATO aspirant with sanctions. Serb leader explains why West doesn't like Russia. Because it's hard to tell. Ukraine can't win against Russia, says Orban. TikTok promises to reveal secrets to Oracle, says Bloomberg. Military action in Mexico should be on the table, says U.S. Congressman. British Special Forces deployed to 19 countries since 2011, says NGO. A Moscow court extends detention of American journalist. Robert F. Kennedy Jr. decries weaponization of FBI. Climate change could force Russia to move capital to Siberia, says an expert. France ready to offer Ukraine security guarantees. Moscow accuses G7 members of hypocrisy. Ex-Russian president encourages citizens to pirate foreign content. That'll teach them. DeSantis teases 25-year conservative Supreme Court majority. Let's see, covered that and that and that. Microsoft launches AI content moderation tool. Ron DeSantis to announce campaign, says Fox News, and I thought he already did. Russian region explains why it used... Oh, well, the name difference. Let's see. U.S. struggles... Oh, read all those. BBC fights fake news with fake Twitter accounts. Okay, that's the last one. Wow, we got done pretty quick tonight. I actually thought it was going to run on a little bit because of all the news I had up, but I got right into it and works for me. I up a little bit earlier than usual this morning, so like I say, I got up and got coffee started and all that and did a couple of little small flights and then got a bunch of stuff done and then took a big flight. So, sounds like a plan in the morning. It's nice while I'm drinking coffee. So, anyway, I'm going to get out of here. And I'm going to relax. So I hope you all have a good evening. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. Hope to see you then. As always, God bless you. We love you. Be one with your spirit. And shalom.